My name is Thaddaeus Ropac. I have galleries in Salzburg, Austria, in Paris, outside of Paris, in Pantin, and recently also opened in London. Well, expansion, I always say it is not a necessity, it's just an opportunity. I think if you're able to expand and if you feel that it's something you can do with your artist, that your artist would appreciate it, it would basically give your artist a challenge, and it would really fit your program, and you're able to feel all these different spaces, then I think it's something someone can do. And I think in my case it was a very natural growth. I think I started first in Austria many years ago, then Paris was a very big step, and in Paris we felt we came to our limits in terms of presenting art, and we felt that if we limit the ambitions of our artists, then we have to rethink the system, and therefore we opened this very large space as a second space in Paris. And going to London was just a great opportunity. Our artists were very much in favor of it, and we felt that the team was very motivated to work on a bigger programming, because now we need to fill 5 galleries and have a kind of monthly program in all these galleries. But we do work with many artists, and we discussed it with our artists. We didn't want to kind of burden them too much. We also felt that to have another new space kind of gives you the opportunity to maybe work with new artists also, and some new estates also. So I think it was a natural growth. But I always say it is not necessarily. You can have one space and run a very successful gallery, a very respected gallery. So I think to gain respect in the art world, you don't need to grow. Well, I think that's the crucial part of what we are doing. I think it's everything about the artists. So if the artists are not satisfied, with the infrastructure you can offer, if the artists are not satisfied with the attention they get, then something goes wrong. So I think the number one concern we have is to make our artists happy, and to make sure that we respect their work and that we give them a context within our program, our spaces, which kind of challenges them, but also make them feel comfortable. So I think that's definitely our number one worry, that the artists are happy within any structure you offer them. And everything comes after it. We are here because artists are making it possible that we are here. We are a great team. I'm happy to work with really very, as I said, motivated people who are very curious about art, who constantly look at artists, who go to studios, and whenever they find something really exciting, then I'm happy to share, and then I usually try to meet the artist myself, go to the studio. It's definitely one of the privileges we have, and we have to cherish. And I think even the bigger I grow, I think that this one part which I don't want that somebody takes this over is like a studio visit of artists we're working with a long time, new artists we meet in studios. I think this is what it's all about. Yeah. What we really try to avoid, and of course the bigger you get, the more difficult it is to become a corporate gallery. This is what I really try to avoid. I think we try to keep it on this individual level, and to have every space or every part of this gallery still kind of keep its soul. But it's not easy. That's a challenge. I think it's easier when you're smaller. It's more hard when you're growing and getting bigger, because then the size also kind of easily turns you into a brand, and which is good on one side, because of course it kind of is also name recognition, but then also there's the danger that you become corporate, and I think in art that's a kind of very dangerous level you are trying to operate. Yeah, I think galleries have the ambition, and we too, to make exhibitions on a very high level. So when we opened the London space, we have one exhibition with early works by Gilbert and George. We wanted to do it very precisely. We are showing the drinking pieces from 1972. So most of them either in museums or in private collections, and they're not for sale, but we still wanted to do this exhibition. So mainly they're loans. We have another exhibition which is Joseph Beuys. We showed the sculpture Backrest, and we wanted to have drawings which somehow really go with this sculpture. So most of them again are loans, so they're not for sale. It is very rewarding to do projects like this, where you don't think first on the commercial value of reselling the works or offering the works, but really doing it for the reason to mount a great exhibition. And I think it's part of our ambition to kind of move into this level where we are able to do exhibitions for the pure pleasure and the importance of the exhibition, of the artist. I don't think we're taking away from what museums are doing. I think we are adding to what people want to have as an experience of art and come to see exhibitions. Well, that's interesting that she says this, because I had really the opposite experience. You know, people were warning me, saying as a German speaker to come to Paris, it's maybe not the easiest start. And I have to say, my experience in France was the opposite. I find the French, first of all, intellectually very challenging, very open. They're really able to kind of go into the world of an artist, to understand it intellectually, not only visually. I find the French, I think, in my experience, and I have met maybe many different audiences, I found the French as one of the most liberal, most curious, and most open. Well, of course, we are watching very carefully the secondary market. We look exactly what is happening on the secondary market. We are concerned about our artists and how they are treated in the secondary market. So this is definitely something we don't want to ignore. We are participating in a way also that when collectors offer some great historical works of artists which we work together, and we are showing new works fresh from the studio, we are happy to also show historical pieces. We are doing also exhibitions which are kind of dealing with historical material from our artists. Especially London will play a stronger role on this. So in a way, this is definitely something you cannot ignore. I think it's something, it's not my main idea of a gallery, because we still feel the close contact to the artist, and how you bring in the new works from the studio to a great wider audience is our main reason for running these galleries. But it is also interesting and challenging and quite surprising to do historical exhibition and bring together works from the secondary market. Well, we try to build relationship with collectors. So we're not so much in this problem that we would be somehow scared that a sale doesn't happen. If a sale doesn't happen, it's also not the end of the world. So I think you can usually offer it to another collector who would be very happy to get it. So I think we are building relationships with collectors, with museums, with institutions, and those are long-term relationships over many years. So I think we know with whom we work together. I think we are not really facing so much this problem. Well, a gallery, I think in the very classical thing, and nothing has really changed much, is somebody who is between the artist studio to protect the artist in its own universe and to let the artist work in peace and quietness, and the wider, bigger audience. The audience might be the press, so all the way media reacts to the new body of work of an artist. Pure audience, people who are invited to come and see an artist's work and see exhibitions, and also finding a new home for works artists produce. So I think it's really an in-between role between the artist studio and the bigger audience. It could be collectors, just art lovers who want to see art, the media who want to write about it, or critics who write books. So I think this is a multifunction.